Chapter 4 from Digital Marketing Strategy for Online Marketing. Chapter 4 is a very short chapter that just starts talking about who is a digital consumer and how do we understand them. So, of course, digital consumers are anyone who shop online through various tools, website, their cell phone, and tablets, etc., how we interact. Okay? No consumer is completely digital or not digital at all. Okay? Some people are using digital services for some components of their life. Maybe banking only. Maybe they only shop online from specific websites, but they prefer to go in person to others. Some people, the author of this book talks about how they prefer um, printed books and they will not read books online. While other people only will read books online and they don't buy physical books. Digital consumers are located anywhere and have 24/7 access to our content. Okay? But when we're saying they could be anywhere, we want to remember about how they're accessing the information. So, for example, one of the examples given is would they be watching videos with sound? Maybe they have the sound turned off on their cell phone and they don't want to interact with content that needs sound to be interacted with. So, when digital marketers are creating content, that's one of the things that they need to think about is does this video convey the message that we want it to without sound? Okay? We shouldn't assume that all of our digital consumers are young, that only young people are on their cell phones all the time or are comfortable with technology. Okay, so we have digital natives and digital immigrants. Digital natives are people who have grown up with the technology. So the technology existed when they were born and they've always had access to it. Digital immigrants are people who the technology was invented during their lifetime. So part of their life they lived before, say, the internet was invented, or before computers were mainstream, or before cell phones were available to connect online. Okay? We shouldn't assume that digital immigrants don't have technology skills. Many of them have had to embrace technology for their work or just personally prefer technology for the convenience factor of it. And in March 2020, when COVID shut down basically the entire world for a couple of months and stores were closed and um, we had limited access, even people who had never shopped online before or shopped through a computer before were forced to access things differently. We're forced to interact with the world differently because of the inability to go to the grocery store and get items. Digital consumer behavior. Behavior is constantly changing. Okay? How people spend time on their phones, what they do on their phones, what's trending, social media apps that are trending, what's popular, who does what, when. Um, like right now, if you've seen in the news, I would be surprised if you've been online, if you can even avoid it, the game Wordle, which has just come out and has been this huge thing. Whether you've played it or not, you have probably seen people posting about it on social media. I saw a news article about it last night about the hot new word game that everybody's playing. Kind of that if you haven't downloaded Wordle, you're missing out because everyone else has downloaded Wordle. And whether we have push or pull demand, okay? push demand is when the company pushes something out, pushes out advertising, pushes out products, and then the consumers go and get it. Pull demand is when the consumers pull the activity towards them. So they demand faster access. They demand simple shopping. They want to be able to find things quickly. They want fast shipping. They are also concerned about how their data is used and some of the privacy concerns around data. What kind of information is being stored about them and who is storing that information? What happens in times of data breaches? If I agree to store my credit card online, how protected is that against data breaches? Okay. More purchasers historically use mass online marketplaces that niche sites. So I'm more likely to go to an Amazon or a Walmart or something where I can buy multiple kinds of products all in one run than just going to a specific site that only specializes in one kind of thing or another. Now, of course, that's more purchasers than average. It doesn't mean that people aren't using those niche sites and that there isn't a market there. Some people might actually prefer that, just the volume of traffic is higher on the mass online marketplaces. Okay? Things that we consider when we're shopping online are price, shipping costs, any discounts and offers, and the speed of shipping. We talked about in class about how people are more likely to add additional items to their cart to get up to the specific level in order to get free shipping, even if that means they're spending more money on product than they are shipping, because consumers feel the product is worth the price, where shipping isn't a cost they're willing to spend. Again, discounts and offers. If I purchase more, I know there's one website that I've purchased on before that if you spend over $100, you get a percentage discount. And then if you get to over 200, that percentage discount actually increases. And then the speed of delivery. More and more, we want things to happen with 1 day shipping or 2 day shipping because Amazon dictated that in the marketplace. If I can't get 2 day shipping from you, I'm just going to go to Amazon and get 2 day shipping from them. Okay. What does a consumer profile look at like? We talked about these a little bit in chapter 1 and 2, also where we looked at the customer persona. So, what are all of the things about our digital consumer? What is their attitude towards online shopping? Are they pro online shopping, against online shopping? They only use online shopping because they're forced? What is their experience? What are they looking for? Are they computer literate? Do they feel confident on websites? Do they know what they're doing? Do they trust certain websites? They trust their information being collected, and how that builds into what our customer looks like. And then how technology affects digital consumers. Okay, so smartphones and tablets are both actually, this says push factors, but I would say both push and pull, because I can, they've changed customer behavior, even though consumers did not initially ask for the technology. So that's how it's a push technology. They were pushed out into the world. Customers didn't know that they would like smartphones or tablets, but they purchased them. Now we have both push and pull marketing that can happen on I can as a consumer choose which companies I interact with, but then at the same time other companies' ads are pushed out to me on various social media and websites that I didn't choose to interact with based on things that I search for in Google and other factors. Internet connectivity worldwide, not There are still places where we don't have a lot of internet connectivity or fast speed internet or high speed internet. And this isn't just inside the US has internet and outside the US places don't have internet. There are places in the US that still struggle with access to internet. For example, um, I have relatives that live in Northwest Iowa that until last year only had dial up internet available to them. And so they had to use mobile hotspots to get internet that was better than dial up internet. Last year, their town did fiber optics installation, but before that, they still had dial up internet. So, places around the world that still have internet connection issues, which then, of course, impact the amount of digital media that marketing companies can put out to them if videos won't load or photos won't load. Okay. 4G available in 3/4 of the world. Recently, we've moved into 5G. The availability of 5G is still in fairly low adoption. In fact, I just looked it up, and we're about 50% in the United States for access to 5G. And some countries haven't even been given the option to move into 5G yet. So that's still a very current rollout. So companies must change as their consumers change, and we must adapt our marketing strategies to meet those consumers. And that is the end of chapter 4.